Hello and welcome to Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls. This show is dedicated to busy men and women just like you that are looking to get amazing fitness and fat loss results, and you live in the Sioux Falls and the surrounding area. In this show, we're going to bring you the info and the knowledge that you need to make your results become reality. So go ahead and tune in every single week as we bring you exactly what you need to reach the success that you're after. Let's dive in to today's episode. What is going on, and welcome to the next episode of Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls. So excited that you guys have decided to join us today. I am so ready to get this chat underway with who we have up for a guest today. If you are watching this, the gal that you see next to me is not the same gal that I met back in 2015. However, we're going to uncover everything that it took for her to go from the life that she had before to the life that she has now. And I want to introduce her, but I real quick want to let you guys know when I met Vicky back in 2015, who many people now refer to as the Miss Coach Vicky. You see, she was maybe a little overweight and less confident and just living a different life. Now she's lost, and we'll find out for sure, but lost over like 60 some pounds. And she went from low self-esteem, low self-confidence to now the director of coaching for my gyms here in Sioux Falls, and just as an amazing gal who really leads a team of just outstanding coaches. So let's welcome today's show. Welcome, Miss Vicky. How are you, Vicky?
I'm good. Thanks for the intro.
Heck yes. So exciting. I've been wanting to do this for a while where you and I can just get on here and chat really about your life before, about your life now, and what it took for you to get there, because you made a pretty big transformation.
It was a little one.
What was the actual total like weight loss that you're at right now?
I last checked was probably about 65 pounds. So
65 pounds. And it's crazy. We were actually chatting a little bit earlier, and we were looking at some pictures of you back from 2015. And Vicky, people wouldn't even recognize you. Like, you are completely different. I want to know what was your biggest kind of struggle back then? Like, what were you struggling with? Self-esteem, self-confidence? Was it low energy? Was it depression? Like, what was it in 2015? How were you feeling?
Sure. Probably all of the above. I think the confidence one was a huge one for me. I am really good at putting out a persona that I've got it and I have it all and I'm making things work. But really in the background, I just did not take time for myself. Really thought I was failing at a lot of things. So it's like kind of like I look good on the outside, but on the inside, things just weren't going the way that I wanted to. And it got to the point where even just stepping on the scale anymore it was cringing, because I did not want to see that number go past 200. And the day I saw that is probably when I stopped jumping onto the scale.
Yeah. So you did get over 200 pounds.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And maybe we shouldn't ask, maybe it's not something that you asked, but where are you at now?
Right now I'm at 155.
155, which is just wild. So what a transformation. And at the time too, you had 2 children and you're married and was just working a corporate job, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, how old were your kids at the time?
My oldest at the time was about 11, I believe. And my younger one at the time, now my middle child, was 8.
Okay. So I got you. So just being a mom and having all these different things that you have to take care of, did you ever think about like health or fitness or any of that? Or what was your thought about health and fitness at the time?
Oh, absolutely. I had thought about it, and sporadically did things, maybe that motivated me in the quick moment, but somehow fell back into the loop of taking care of other things, taking care of work, taking care of my family responsibilities. And so I never just really stuck with any one thing. And my view of nutrition, or what I thought was nutrition, did not make sense to what it is that I know now. So, yeah, I just kind of thought about those types of things.
Sure. So you thought about it,
Yeah.
taking action on it. So that's a huge thing. And I think that right there is a nugget for all of our people listening. You can think about something or you can take action. And
Yeah.
you're not going to get anywhere without taking the action. So what I want to know though is, did you said that you always fell back into taking care of others? Was
Yeah.
there a sense of guilt, like you shouldn't take care of yourself, or that if you were taking care of yourself, that then somehow you weren't taking care of others, or what was that feeling?
That exact feeling. I just felt anytime that I removed myself, even if it was for a brief moment in time, that I was not giving 100% to where everybody else being my family, being work, my friends, and then too, just kind of the circle of people I hung around with. If I started on a trend, it was just like, oh, she's just doing a quick trend. And then kind of hanging out with those people, I kind of fell back into that cycle of just not treating myself right and that type of thing. So, yeah.
So we know this to be true. We've been doing this now. The crazy thing is Vicky joined Fit Body as one of my very first clients back in 2015, and so you've been literally by my side now for over 8 years, or almost
Yeah.
8 years, I should say, doing this. So when we come to thinking of that, we know that what is the truth is that when you take care of yourself and when you put yourself first, you can then truly show up for others. So, how did you actually experience that in your life?
In many ways, I it was interesting. I think first to hit was my mental capacity. I obviously wanted to lose the weight. That was a big thing for me, but I didn't realize how much putting myself first meant for my mental state. At the time, just going through a lot of things at home, and trying to be there for my family, for my friends, for my work, and that type of thing. I thought I had it and I was falling short in a lot of ways. And by starting to introduce this new routine in my life, I found myself feeling just overall better. The energy. One thing I did notice was like with my kids, I thought I would be paying attention to them, even if they came home after school. Hey, mom, I got this really cool project, da da da, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And I thought I was listening and hearing them when really now they look back, I wasn't. I was more or less like in a zombie state, just kind of getting through the motions. But as soon as I started kind of just taking just a little bit of time for myself in the day, it's almost like therapy. I started becoming more intuitive and more present in their lives and asking questions back, not just saying that's nice or okay. So that I think really changed right off the bat, and it was an unexpected change for myself. And
Yeah.
then all the other stuff that happened, and that was even pretty awesome on top of that.
Yeah. So just a ton of life changes. It
Yeah.
had to be it had to be pretty intimidating, right? Because
Oh yeah.
you were going to join and whether it's Fit Body, which is obviously at Fit Body, we're all about group fitness and
Yep.
doing it in basically large group format. But how did you overcome that? Because I'm sure there's so many people that are going to end up hearing this or listening to this that it's like, how the heck do you take that first step? Because we hear a lot, right? We hear, well, I got to get a little more in shape before I
Yep.
go join that. So how did you overcome that?
Oh, I'll tell you that thought crossed my mind immediately is that I'm just not there yet. So I was scared. Luckily enough, I had a friend, a partner that was able to encourage me, and just really facing a fear. I had to face it. I knew I got to a point in my life that if I continued the way I was going, I wasn't going to be able to show up for everything that I wanted to do in life.
Yeah.
And specifically being there for my kids. When I was young, my dad had passed away when I was a teenager. And through unhealthy habits, some of it could have been controlled, maybe some of it couldn't, but I just knew that I was falling in that same uh, predicament, I guess.
Yeah.
And being that my oldest was at the age that he was at the time, I'm like, holy cows, in a few years, he'll be the same age that my dad passed away, and I'm still continuing on with those healthy habits. So it's that fear that strikes you really quite intensely that makes you want to face your own fears and walk through those doors. So, and once I got past that part, then I was just made to feel comfortable, and
Yeah.
it's okay. So
Yeah.
it's a tough step to take, but
You said
really,
you said that you had a friend. I don't remember that you came to the gym. Like, are you talking to my mom?
yes.
You're talking to my mom. Okay, because I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Yes.
I don't remember you having a friend that you came with, but you're referring to my mom. I love that. I love that. Yes, because Vicky actually worked with my mom
Yep.
before Fit Body, and they worked at that office together. And so
Yep.
that's how I actually got introduced to Vicky and how I met her.
Huge, huge. So if it wasn't for her, I don't know. So I have to
Big
give her
shout
tons of
out to any of the
praise.
clients at Fit Body know her obviously as Mama D. So big shout out to Mama D. However, I want to unpack kind of something that you said. You said that
Mhm.
your fear of kind of the path that you were heading on, that fear got to be greater than the fear of going to the gym. So something that if you're listening to this, if you really want to make change in your life, you have to figure out like the fear of staying the same or the fear of not getting to where you want to go. That fear actually has to become greater than the
Mhm.
fear of remaining or then going and tackling that fear of going to the gym. So you have to, the greater fear will always push you to take action.
Oh yeah, hands down. Because
But
you
so
don't
what?
want it to be too late. I mean, that's the big thing. When it's too late, at that point in my life, it was I would be in a grave and not be able to see my children grow and grandkids, and the future started to strike in. So
Yeah. And then speaking of kids, so and then with that, so it sounds like your kids and the age that you hit to, the fear of not being there for your kids, because obviously that's like near and dear to your heart because you said that you lost your dad at a young age. And you know, obviously, how that impacted you. So you're like, hey, I'm going to do everything I can within my control to make sure that I can be here for my kids as they age. So that
yep,
right there was like the switch that flipped and you started to hit that age where it's like it's time. I got to take action
yep,
on this.
yep,
You had 2 children at the time
yeah.
and you actually went through a full pregnancy
Oh yeah.
and had a child and continued to work out. So you've also been through that because that's another thing that oftentimes can hold people back is pregnancy.
Yep.
What was that experience like?
That was a truly awesome experience because obviously I experienced pregnancy before, but not at that level.
Sure.
I was scared. I remember telling you, I think I might have to quit, and I was almost felt defeated,
Yeah.
because I had in that little time I had made so much progress, and I was like, well, now what? Now what? But again, just reassurance from yourself, my doctors. You've already been doing this routine. You can keep it up as long as you feel good, and
Yeah.
I felt good. And so I just kept doing it, and I'm making it feel comfortable for where I was at in each stage of that pregnancy.
Yeah.
So
Because you
being
worked out almost to the you were if I remember right, you took I felt like 4 weeks off.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like you weren't gone.
Before I had them. So
Yeah, crazy. And it's because you just kept adjusting as you go. And so that's another thing that is just so impactful is that you just do what your body can do, but you do something because something done daily or something done consistent is always going to be better than doing nothing.
hands
And
down. And it was by far the best, easiest pregnancy that I had from start to finish. And that was another thing is my first two pregnancies, I gained well over 50 pounds. And
yeah,
I just, when they say eat for two, yeah, I literally did that. But the third one that I had while I was working out, I actually started to learn how to eat properly and did not gain anywhere close to that amount of weight, but still had a healthy pregnancy, a healthy delivery, healthy postpartum. So it just by far the best.
so absolutely. And your journey being where you're at now, what did you find worked the best for you to set? Because you had a big change, and many people. There's probably a lot of people that are going to listen or watch this. They want to make a big change as well, but you can't make a big change fast. Like it has to be gradual, and you have
Yes.
to learn to find stuff that works for you along the way. So, what was it that you found that really worked for you to see, recognize, or understand that? Hey, progress is progress and I'm doing well. What was it for you?
For me, a combination of things. I started to learn more about what I was eating, what my body specifically could handle, along with my coach at the time was helping me with. Learning from them. There were points where I was like, I wanted that quick fix, so I'd overtrain and get defeated by getting on the scale and being like, what happened here? I thought I was doing all the right things. But having somebody in my court saying, hey, this is the proper way to do it. You need to look at maybe losing a pound a week, not 5. So having that and really not restricting myself or going, aka balls to the wall with my workouts, it was just be patient. I think I learned a lot of patience in the process. Trying new things was another thing that I learned, and just balancing it out. So I still like cookies. I still like cheesecake. I still eat it. I just don't, and I don't restrict those things. And finding a healthy relationship, I guess, with food and being active.
Speaking of food, one thing that hinders a ton of our clients and just people in general is so you made this decision to start a health and fitness journey and transform your life. Your family, they didn't make that choice. You did. And a lot of times, the woman is kind of in charge of the meals. I don't know if that's how it was or is in your family.
Much of
It's not in yours.
no.
Is Justin in charge of like the
Yes.
okay.
He does the dinners.
But so here's a question then. How did it work when you are now on this journey and you need to eat one way, but the family needs or wants to eat a different way? Because we run into that all the time, with our clients, right? How did you tackle it? And then how do you help our clients tackle it?
Sure. Just like I had to have patience with myself and the changes that were going to come or that I was trying to make happen. My family needed the same thing. So I didn't try to completely revamp our lifestyle of eating right off the bat. I did talk to them and they knew what I was trying to do. And so thankfully I had support in the background saying, okay, we can try some new things. It started off very simple as like, rather than getting, chicken nuggets, maybe let's do steak tonight. I knew that's something that the family really liked. Finding foods that they like too that I could implement with mine as well. So it was just baby steps. And as they kind of watched me, especially my kids, watch me try to eat a little bit better, be active, be stronger, more confident. Like as that started to slowly progress, you watch them pick up on those behaviors.
Yeah.
And so now my two older boys work out very much so and they still are teenage boys, let's be real, but they have better eating habits and patterns and lifestyles because of it. So again, not an overnight thing. It's just slowly little things like, all right, we're going to do one little change with our meals tonight.
Yeah. I think a big thing with that, and something that I know, we've worked with our clients on as well, a lot of times the meal or that thing that they're worried about is like changing it for their whole family. If we think about it, that's one meal of the day. Like
Yep.
most people eat at least 2 times. Like you should be eating multiple times, but most people eat at least, 2 or 3 times.
Right.
It's like, what meals can you control, like that don't affect anybody else other than you? Let's get those on point and on par first. And then start, like you said, making those baby changes for that one meal with the family, how it then does just become easier for them. And it doesn't feel like you're neglecting them, because something that we deal with, right, is we hear like, well, guess we got to eat healthy because mom's on a fitness journey. Right.
So true. Yep.
And
That was the thing. The only thing that we really did, we sat down, we had dinner together. That was the only one that I had to worry about for the most part, with the exception of maybe on the weekends. But even that is not that hard to, it sounds like it in the beginning, it might be a little trickier, but even if we went out to breakfast, we traditionally did that on the weekends. They can still order whatever they want to order. I just kind of planned a little bit ahead of time, took that initiative, and that's how we made it work.
yeah, that's awesome. We're getting close to the end of our time, but I want to touch on one other thing that you mentioned a little earlier was your friend group, and that needed to be adjusted a little bit. Can you expand on that a little bit, for obviously you, but then what you see with our clients as well? Like what do you see in a friend group, or what do you need to find in a friend group in order to succeed? Like, what was it for you?
For me, it was trying to find people that wanted to change, if that made sense. And when I started to and I didn't really know that at the time, I acknowledged it while I was doing it.
Yeah.
So coming to the gym, I'm around these people that are trying to better themselves, and some even better than I was and still are. I kind of look toward those people. Not that I discluded anybody that was already existing in my life. Still talk to them, still really good friends. I just kind of try to limit my presence around that a little bit more. Just became a little bit more aware of that.
Yeah.
So, at the time, my friends like to party and go out and do that type of thing. And I enjoy that as well. I knew that, again, kind of going back to the beginning, the fears outweighed that significantly. So to the point where surrounding myself with people that I was like, oh, I think I can be better than that. I think I can do better than that, really helped me kind of put me on the path that I am on now. And that's kind of what I look towards even to this day.
Yeah. So just surrounding yourself with people that believe in you, that want to see you better yourself, and that are really cheering for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm sure you had tough days, and I'm sure you still have tough days.
Yep. The praise, and that's the thing. I'm not big on praise, but it is nice that when you start to change, whether it's like physically or mentally, people say, you seem happier, or what's up with you today? And you don't even realize, and you're like, wow, is that really happening? Is that what this is doing? And you feed off that. I want more of that. Because at the end of the day, whether you like praise or not, humans crave that. I think that's a big thing as far as, and then too, building that confidence up. So.
Yeah. I love it. Well, I want to end with just a couple questions and have you give some answers. So right now, Vicky, if you were talking to someone that is just thinking about starting a health and fitness journey, but they don't really know where to start, maybe they don't want to go to a gym. What would be like your tip to give them on what to do to start?
Oh, my biggest tip on what to do to start. Let's see here. I would say writing down some plans.
Okay.
What would you like to see your future self look like or be like or act like? I think that's a good start of kind of identifying where you want to go and then from there making steps on how to approach that. So whether that is calling a gym or is it calling a friend maybe you haven't talked to in a while that you've noticed has made significant changes in their lives, reaching out to others for help. I have to say, a big part of this was not just me by myself, it was having other people in my life to kind of help me along. I'd like to say that I wish and I thought at the time I could do it by myself. I tried that route and it does not work very well. So reaching out to somebody, anybody that you maybe look up to, even if you haven't talked to them, but yeah, just kind of start jotting down some ideas of what you want your future self to look like, and then making that conscious step of reaching out to somebody for help.
I love it. Okay, another question that I want to ask you is
Mhm.
so many people they they correlate like the only way that they can measure success is by losing that weight on the scale. And if you want
Yeah.
to lose 50 or more pounds, like that's a big number.
Right.
So just focusing on the scale, if it's not moving, it can be like discouraging. What are
Mhm.
some ways that you would encourage a person to measure their success other than just scale weight?
Oh man, there's so many. And I'll never forget the time I called you, and I'll never forget. I was in a Target fitting room trying on jeans of all things. My weight hadn't changed very much. I had no idea. And two, you also still have that image of yourself before losing the weight,
Yeah.
but or even losing inches. But I called you and I said, "Holy crap!" Or I text you and I said, "I think I'm down jean sizes." I was like, I went in with my old current, what I thought was my current size in mind, and they were too big, so I had to go out and get another pair. I went one more size down, still too big. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is just happening. And it didn't take a scale to figure that out. I was like, my clothes fit better.
Sure.
And then the other thing was just being able to walk into places without my head down. I never realized how much confidence I did lack at the time, but I noticed I never walked with my head upright. I looked at the ground, and knowing that and acknowledging that I didn't do that anymore just showed and was like, holy cows, I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Last one was when my doctor told me I had an athletic heart rate. I didn't even know that was a real thing. So that
You
was
got one.
up the scale. Yeah.
I love it. That is so cool. What I do want to know, we're real short on time. We're wrapping this thing up. What's the last thing that you would just tell anybody that really wants to make a big change? Maybe they're already like well on their way. Maybe they're just starting. Maybe
Yeah.
they are just like you, they are maintaining. So what is just some words of wisdom that you have for them or some words of encouragement that you could give anybody for some kind of parting wisdom?
Oh, parting wisdom. I would say be confident in yourself, even though if that doesn't seem like that's there yet, it will come. Be patient with yourself. The changes do happen, and it really acknowledge all the small little victories. I used to do it for myself, and I now tell my clients to do it. We tend to think about all the things that are going wrong or all the things that aren't going right. Make a list of all the things that are going well, even if it's something as simple as I took a walk today rather than sit at my desk at work. I got out and did something somewhat active, or I decided to drink all water today instead of having my normal sodas and coffee. Like write those things down, because I'll tell you what, that list is a lot longer than the ones of all the things that you aren't getting right. And only put maybe two, three things. And I wouldn't even say that's a list of not getting things right. It's a list of things you're going to work on.
Yeah. I love it. So focus on the positive, be confident in yourself, and do something daily to make progress. That is
Absolutely.
That is awesome. Well, you guys, thank you for showing up, Miss Coach Vicky. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me and talk with me. We're definitely going to have to do it again because I feel like we could go on for hours. So you guys, what I would love for you to do though is, this is all new to me, to be honest. So like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever the thing is that you can do to podcasts or whatever these things are, do that thing. Share it with your friends. And know that if you want to get in touch with me or really know what's going on with the health and fitness scene here in Sioux Falls, I would love for you to check out our website. That is siouxfalls.fit. You can also get a hold of me by sending me an email at coachcj@siouxfallsfitbody.com. I'd love to know what you want more info on so we can make these shows the best for you. But anyways, you guys, signing off for the day. Vicky, thanks for showing up and being your awesome self. Go out there today, you guys, and be amazing. And we will catch you on the next episode of Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls. Bye, you guys.